You're a secret agent just trying to survive in a game that's not even worth surviving in. This is Zombie Girl. And you've probably not heard of it because it's kind of obscure. I think one person developed this game. So pretty much is a basic third-person 3D shooter where you fight in abandoned cities, caves, hospitals, in the wilderness, and industrial areas. And I don't think any of these stages are linked up. As far as I know, there's no cutscenes, there's no real plot. Just it's an excuse for you to have, werewolves and these other creatures attacking you, zombies, which apparently actually are headless zombies for a change and not some other variant. So the graphics are decent, somewhere between PS3, PS4 quality, sort of low amounts of polygons on the enemies. There's a few different machine guns and pistols. From what I saw, I think it was an assault rifle, I don't know, but anyways, the game is pretty challenging and requires a lot of crouching behind the cars, and then the enemy AI, even on the hardest difficulty, usually they're stupid enough to run by you and run past the car and then you'll just pick them off. But I feel like that's what this game is all about. It's just about you're just sitting back and you're just taking them out, and what's the fun in that? That's exactly how I played Duke Nukem forever. In some stages there was no other way to win other than to be cheap and just lay back and just take pot shots, and I don't find that as much fun. And the way that this game looks to the average gamer is it looks like an action game, and really what I found, even on the easiest difficulty, you can't rush in and Rambo and start shooting and dodge, and no, because there's 5 enemies and they're just going to take your life bar apart in even on the easiest difficulty. It was the craziest thing. On hard is almost impossible. They have laser sight or something that can take you out easily. So yeah, it feels like the enemies have an unfair damage hit rate. You have to pick pot shots, then fighting in the open, which seems suicidal, and it feels like enemies can mow you down from 100 meters away, and they don't have sniper rifles from what I remember. At least most of them don't. They just have regular machine guns or pistols. I don't remember. But yeah, when you slow dodge roll, you can't move fully when sprinting. Sprinting leaves you wide open, so it's almost not worth sprinting at all. Yes, it's one of those games with armor that depletes in 2 to 3 shots, and your main health bar goes down almost as fast. So it's actually a lot more challenging, and that's why it takes away the fun. Apparently someone beat this game, I saw, and I was really surprised. I guess they were really patient with this game. Apparently the game warns you of nudity, and they even have pictures of stuff censored out, and I'm like, you don't see any of that. I don't know when that happens. Apparently when you get shot, your clothes get shredded. But yeah, nowhere did I ever experience any of that. I don't know if they took it out just to sell the game to a younger demographic. But I'm sure that's what attracted a lot of people to this game. I thought, okay, cool. It looks like an action game. It's called Zombie Girl. Then I'm like, okay, there's nudity. I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe the zombies will be nude. And apparently the game's super short too. It's only about 2 hours in length, which I find hard to believe because I got bored after I think it was the first stage. I'm like, okay, I don't want to spend a few hours pot-shotting, random enemies and just being super strategic. But yeah, I'm sure that, basic gameplay, very few enemy types, werewolves, spiders, I didn't even see those, and then there were soldiers as well. Enemies that are aggressive bullet sponge, and that's the biggest downfall of this game. The enemies are just big bullet sponges, and I feel like it's to pad out the length of this game, because otherwise you would finish these levels in 30 seconds. So it's kind of a shame that they purposely didn't rebalance the game so that easy really is easy and easy is not medium or hard. And that just makes the game unfun. The game has a lot of potential here, and that's the problem. If they made it into a full-fledged story, or if they made it balanced better so that you could play through it and have fun and just enjoy being Rambo as the game seems to suggest it should be you know, the gameplay, graphics, and menus, like everything still feels unfinished. I don't think it's early access, but it feels like an early access. It's just ultimately, it's not a shooter game as people would expect, even with a first-person mode. And there's nothing lewd, and like it's like I'm sure they could get taken to Steam and just because there's no nudity as is promoted. Just the game comes across as cheap, and like there's some games on Steam that give you that impression right away, but then there's games like this one where you get that after playing it. And that's why I'm giving it 4 out of 10. The levels are just, they have empty areas that have no purpose. There's a few enemies here and there, but mostly it's empty, the streets level in particular. The game goes for $8.99, which seems fair when you're looking at the Steam page, but that's before you play the game, and just you realize how much needs to be balanced and to make it a fun experience. As Zombie Girl, it just feels like a bargain $3 title. It's not worth the $9. So keep on looking for a good zombie game. There are a few out there. A lot of them aren't so good. This one isn't. Keep on gaming. Alright.